All right, folks, I am going to finish this piece. I'm not sure if I can do it in one sitting, but I do have the steps clearly lined out for myself. I'm gonna finish some of the base colors. I'm gonna change the colors in the multiply layer, because like in these shadows in the skin color, I would like them to be more orange and red rather than purple. After that, I'm gonna merge those layers. I'm gonna merge the multiply layer and the paint layer, and just kind of paint a bit, just on top of it. And then we'll do white highlights, and then we'll do our final overlay just to kind of make everything look nice. But first thing, we do have to finish the base colors because I noticed they weren't quite done. So what I'm going to do here is take the boot color. Let's get the boot color in. Let's get rid of that multiply layer for a second, the visibility of it. Just going to kind of finish this off. And again, I want to slow down my speech, and remember also to encourage all of you, if you want to draw with me, draw and paint along with me, pull out your sketchbooks, pull out your tablets, start doodling something. Or if you have something you've already been working on, let's get some work on it done today. I'm going to be having this video on for maybe 20 to 30 minutes, maybe more, and see how much we can get done. I do have the process lined up, and I have that planned, so we'll just go with it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I think that was good enough for the base colors. Actually, hold on. I'm going to take some of these colors in the wings now. Just going to sort of brush them in. That red up there. Again, it's chibi, so I don't think I have to be too perfect on the mechanical design of this. Just want to get the colors in the right place. There's that blue there. This purple needs to... Yeah. This blue here. And then... couple red lines. I'm gonna take that red. There's a couple lines in here, just like vertical lines like that. Yep, we'll put that one in there. Here, there's a red on the tip. A lot of these have that blue color in there. And then something like this here. One thing that's happening with me is starting to have like recognition for times of challenge. So I'm kind of just diving into my topic here because I was talking about this a little bit before I started stream, but I do want to talk about a couple of virtues. I just got done talking about like David Goggins and the virtues of mortification that he has, and I've been thinking about kind of a trail of, the virtues kind of lead into each other, and there's like 4 virtues I've been thinking about that I want to have. Now, Saint Basil said temperance opens the door to all virtue, because if you can reduce your consumption, reduce your need for worldly goods, that saves you time and energy. Like it opens the door for more, because if you say no to things, that allows you the space to say yes to other things. Hold on, I do want this to be a little less opaque. Yeah. So then, another virtue I want to have is diligence, right? So there's a lot of work for me to do. So if I'm saying no to things that are more useless, or to things that are less important, or to things that are not of God, what then? So what's happening is, hold on. I'm gonna make sure this is all full, that there's no missing pixels in there. So yeah, using that diligence, like getting the work done, and to be truly diligent, you have to combine it with the virtue of mortification, which is the virtue that I'm trying to build now, that I've never really had in my life. It's always been a weakness for me, the willingness to suffer. So diligence, if one is truly diligent, like doing one to the best of one's ability, it means you're gonna sweat, it means you might get injured, it means you're gonna pursue maximum capacity in that work. And what does that come with? Naturally, it comes with at least stress and often physical pain. And in order to succeed in that work, one has to feel that physical pain. And as I've mentioned many times in my previous videos, I've always been a person that ran away from that pain. So I don't want to run away anymore. But then I was thinking about it, and it's like, okay, but what for? You know, okay, you can have temperance, say no to certain things, have diligence, do the work, but what is the work that you're doing? You're going to have mortification. What are you willing to suffer for? And I have to remember that agape, or charity, or love, that disinterested self-giving, the many different ways to describe it, that is the driving force. And if in my past I was using addictions to escape from fear, then the proper correction to that is, you know, as the Bible verse says, perfect love casts out fear. So it's responding to that fear with virtue. What's going on here? How come I can't color that? Oh, because that's just a base color. Okay, so it's outside of the multiply layer. So now here I'm gonna do an alpha lock on the multiply layer and just kind of change the colors a bit. I'm gonna take this orange and kind of brush over the yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of a darker orange, and I'm gonna paint over the multiply layer there. That might be a bit too dark. You know, my wife and I just finished watching this documentary on the Boston Marathon bombers, and pretty crazy story, very sad. And it's like, when you have that, you know, a goal that you're willing to suffer for. Now for them, it was like this radical jihad kind of thing. Like, you know, there was a Muslim teacher in that documentary, and he was very sad. And I can understand, like, someone is representing your culture and in such a bad way, like these extremists, they are not representative of Islam. And I think most Muslim leaders would say that, like, they are not representative of Islam. Islam, you want to be a good person. But the perception in America, and with Islamophobia and 9/11, like, you know, there's that interplay of, like, you're going to have those people who are really suffering bad, and that might break them into becoming, you know, someone like that. And it's pain. Like, pain is the make or break thing. Fulton Sheen said in one of his last homilies, pain is God's loudspeaker. You know, I think actually looking at this, that might have been the only part of the shadow that I needed to color. I'm going to take this actually and then just make it I'm just going to lighten it a bit. Under the chest there. Just lightening that shadow because I felt the contrast was a little bit too strong. But now, yeah, I don't have to worry about this too much now. I think I'm just going to kind of go in there and paint now. So I'm going to actually merge these layers, merge down. And let's do this. So yeah, asking myself the question, what am I willing to suffer for? It's very simply love for my family. As a layman, as a working man, it's very simple. It's a very simple solution. Now, in my life, I've done a lot of thinking, maybe even too much thinking, but I don't want to waste that. I want to use that to my advantage somehow. And in my layman's life, really be able to think well and use it for my career, and remembering that my career is a means to an end, and that end being the final goal, which is love for my family. So it's like we go in circles, like trying to figure out what is the meaning of life, and it's like once you kind of get to this point as a father, it becomes obvious. And it's like, you know, people have been trying to teach me this since I was a kid. And it's not that I was rejecting it per se. It's just that experiencing something is way different from being told something. You know, now that I'm a dad, you know, I mean, even as a husband, but, you know, a lot of things in marriage I could have been a lot better at. You know, many failures, and maybe even as a father, you know, I may fail, but I don't want to. That's the thing. That's why I'm trying to prepare myself for that. Trying to prepare myself with the mental training to really pursue challenge on my own first, so that when the real life, you know, as they say, the shit hits the fan, when the real life stuff comes around, that I'm ready for it, that I've already trained for this. And that's what, you know, that's what military training is. So I guess I just kind of want to fashion myself as sort of a mental soldier. Now, that said, I'm just talking about all these things, and it's like, it's one of those things where, okay, I figured it out, now what? There's no reason to talk about it anymore. Let's concentrate on our artwork. I'm going to take these brushes and just kind of blend these together. I wish my brush had a bit of a softer edge. I wonder if I can soften it, or if I would have to change the like the source texture. Might end up doing 3 values in the hair. I'm not a painter, and I have to remember, we're not trying to make this look fancy. I think, you know, 2 values, I have to remember, let's not fall into the trap of just trying to paint this. I have to remember, okay, 2 values is enough. Flat values are enough. This is anime. I'm not getting paid too much, and, you know, time efficiency is going to be a good idea here. So yeah, let's not fall into the trap of trying to paint. Simple is good here. Okay. Let's get a shadow in the eyes here. I'm technically already like on my 3rd step. You know, I colored the multiply layer a little bit already. There wasn't much that needed to be changed. I merged the multiply layer, and now we're just painting. So now I think it's just kind of like how we were just refining the line art in a previous video. We're just going to go in and refine the color and just keep it very simple. Just kind of airdrop and messing with the colors. Yeah, I feel like the contrast is a bit strong in the hair. So I think I'm going to take this color and just kind of brush over it. Yeah, I didn't need to shade all that. The hair shading looks pretty whack right now. I mean, I feel like we're already almost done. I feel like this is a bit strong. The contrast here is a bit strong. I'm just going to take a white, just reduce that contrast. I'm going to take the light color brush and just reduce that contrast. Let's add in a little bit of a cast shadow or an overlap shadow right here where the clothes meet. And then let's put some lighting on the gloves here. I'm just going to airdrop here. Or sorry, eyedrop. I said airdrop. Get a little bit of light purple on these gloves here. Just lighten it. Take the same hue. There's not a lot of hue changes in the original piece, so I'm gonna stick to that. Honestly, we're almost done. Again, I don't want to go too crazy over these because I'm on a time crunch. I'm going to bring the... Here's what I'll do. Instead of keeping it a black outline, I'm going to just take an airbrush, put an alpha lock on the line layer, and I'm going to just put in some nice colors. Let's try a blue to kind of light the hair up a little bit. Not too much. Here's what I'll do. I'll remove that. So yeah, that might be a bit much. We're gonna go darker here, going more into the purple. Since I have the alpha lock on, I can really play with this. can really play with it. And it adds some nice depth to the piece when you have the line art colored like this. I did like the sort of light sky blue there, so we're going to put a little bit more up there. Just in the lighted areas. Now for skin, I always like to use red and orange. Pink even. Yeah, pink is cute. I think pink kind of fits in this color scheme. Like pink, red. You know, the wings in the back are pink and red, and red and blue, and the clothes are purple. So staying in this sort of color scheme is good. We'll put that on the skin. Less orange and more pink. Again, using an airbrush so that these changes are not too pronounced. For the rest of it, like this dark purple, I think might be okay. And keeping the black in like the areas where there's shadow. So just reducing the strength of the line art from the dark black, just kind of reducing it as I brush it. You might be able to barely see the changes that are happening as they happen, but they're happening. There, just coloring that line art. I'm gonna take a black again, just return some line weight to some of the shadow areas. And then keeping the black on the wings, that's fine. I'm gonna take this blue again, do the middle of the bangs here. Take this pink again, and do the edges of the contours on the face. We gotta color that little choker. Let's take this blue, let's go all around the hair here. Bring back black, fix the wings. Now this is a bit too light. Go a bit darker here on the skin. And let's go around the eyelashes too, just very slightly. Get a nice effect there. Coloring the line art. I think that looks good. I think that looks good enough. We'll take this purple also, but we'll do like the skin down here, on the thighs, on the arms. Okay, anything else? I'm going to return some black to a certain area. Right here on the tail. Return some black to there. Just overall returning some black to parts where there might need to be more contrast. Like here, yeah, behind the neck for sure. And I might make the inside of the mouth a little bit more on the red side. So I'm going to take this color, go back to the paint layer, get a little bit more red in the shadow, like right in here. Okay. I feel like this looks okay. So let's get a little bit of blush on the cheeks. Yeah, that character has it. So I'm just gonna eyedrop the color that they already chose. Kind of just softly airbrush it in. Don't want to lose the white border of the eyes. Okay, just like that. We'll take the face color, just put it on the cheeks, and then we'll take our Opus color brush again. We'll fix the border of the eyes. This is what happens when you do everything in the same layer. You kind of have to fix things as you change them, but it's okay. I could have easily done that in another layer, but I don't know which. Probably would have saved more time. Okay, everything is hard edge shadows, which I think is okay. I think we're already ready to put in some highlights. Now usually this is the final step, but I mean it doesn't look quite done, but like we're almost there. That's a phone call. I don't have to answer that one. That was I think a spam risk phone call. So
very brittle and very cold, and in fact in the end very violent, because you go right back to
the podcast started playing.
Right, you go back to the
hold on, I'm gonna stop it.
Eye for an eye.
Wow, that's really weird that the phone call... Yeah, the phone call started, and then because I'm streaming on Twitch, it just went back. That's kind of annoying.
I've been offended.
Whoa.
So in my call for justice, I need you
Wait, hold on, guys.
to pay a price.
Okay, so what's happening is that I have the Word on Fire podcast playing on my phone, And when I was in and out of the Twitch stream, it just started playing, so. All right, that's awkward. We turned that off. Okay, but that did allow me a fresh look at this. Now we're gonna add in our final layer here, the highlight layer, and we're just gonna go white. And we're gonna keep this also as a clipping mask, just so I don't destroy anything. And we're just gonna go make highlights. Keep it nice and simple. And use our eraser to shape them. Some highlights here around the head. Using my eraser to shape them. I could even smudge them a little bit. Okay. I want a little bit more of a size taper on my brushes. Let's get some highlights on this side, some highlights right there on the curves of the hair. I really need to improve my color process, guys, but yeah. I think I'm gonna work on it more during personal work, but on here we're on a time crunch. We're pretty much out of time, so just gonna get this done. Just getting those white highlights in. And we might merge this layer, because this is the final layer. We'll merge this in paint. And I don't want to shy away from making strong highlights and really using the white of the canvas. Let's not shy away from that. Let's even put some nice, like, strong highlights here in the wings. Because they are metallic, so. This is pretty much like a metal bar, I suppose. So we get a strong highlight there. Yeah, I really need to improve this coloring brush. It behaves in a way that's close to my old Creative brush, but it's not good enough. So I gotta mess with it. Because I don't want to have to rely on using smudge tool to get those softer edges. That Creative brush was so good, it can get me soft edges and hard edges. I'm not sure how it did that. I think it's time to, like, change my style for thin lines, because when there's a highlight here, I don't want there to be a black outline outside of the highlight. It looks too much like a cartoon. Not that that's bad, but I don't know. There's a way that I know it can look better. Okay, I think I'm ready to, like, merge everything and just paint the rest. Do we need a highlight on her eyes here, on her nose? Do we need it? Yeah, maybe slightly. Okay, I think we're so close to done. I could even, you know what? It's so close. I think we're at a point where I can just see what's missing, because, you know, taking a fresh look at this, you know, removing that reference, zooming out, like, I get the idea. Here's what I'll do. I'll call it done as far as the painting goes, but this is like my usual final step, just to really make things look like I put more effort than I did. I'm going to use an overlay layer, and just airbrush things airbrush colors and stuff that I might think might accentuate a little bit. So I'm going to take an overlay, which can do both lights and darks. I'm going to put in some pink. I think, you know, get a little bit more rosy cheeks. Reddish right here. I'm going to take my airbrush. Make sure my eraser is also an airbrush. Just going to go over here. With the overlay, you can really take dark colors and use them. You know, that's a bit too red. I think we need more pink. Whoa, that was almost black. Sometimes it's hard to find the right overlay layer, but eventually I get it. White, yellowish white. Yeah, yellow. Use yellow to light the skin a little bit. Let's use some light blue to light the hair. You see, it has such a strong effect, this overlay layer. It's a little bit too strong here in the middle, but it has such a nice effect. I really like that I have this as my last step. Kind of lets me play with the color a lot. I wonder what it would be like if I did this near the beginning of the painting. I want to use a very light blue to add some light to this. I guess on the purple parts of the clothing. Yeah. Man, it would be crazy if I did shading with just one overlay layer. That'd be pretty nutty. But we're almost done. I honestly think like this could pass. So we might, you know, just send it over. But I do want to go in and like fix like really bad mistakes. So I'm going to close my eyes for a second. Take a second look at this. If there's anything like super glaring. Okay, let's take a darker gray. Add some shadows to the hair. Oh, I can't really overlay in the shadow areas. I might go into the paint layer actually. And should I merge this down, the highlights? Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna go in here into the hair, and just I think airbrush might be good. Yeah, I think airbrushing is okay in this scenario. Just kind of getting a little bit of a fade in there. I feel like we can do something crazy here. I'm gonna take a yellow light. This is some Bob Ross stuff. Let's do something crazy. This is not planned, but this is digital art. We can reverse this. When Bob Ross does it, he's taking a risk. We're not really taking a risk here. I'm gonna take a harsh yellow light. Put it on the side there. Let's put it in the overlay layer, see what happens. Let's make it a stronger yellow here. Orange yellow. We're experimenting right now. Yeah, that looks nice. Get a warm light on the right. Why not? Why not? It really allows me to play with the color. Okay, any contrast in the tail that I'm missing? What's missing? Shading in the tail. Yeah, we can get a little bit in there. We're almost done. Just kind of finish this off here. I'm gonna go ahead and eyedrop that color. Just kind of get in here and throw some color in the tail. You know what? I think we're gonna call it right now. We're gonna see if anything is like really glaringly obvious after I save it, because it's hard for me to call this done without a fresh look. But I'm gonna need, I think, one more fresh look. But honestly, it might be in another video. Actually, I do see that the choker needs to be colored. Then we'll call it. The choker is this dark purple. Let's get that in there. And then this, we'll just eyedrop that little pink color in the middle. Right there. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's it. So we might be done. But yeah, we'll send it over and see. All right, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later. God bless. Bye-bye.